Welcome back to the podcast. It is Wednesday, and dude, the AI news cycle is just not slowing down. I am Taylor, and I am so hyped for today's stories.
And I am Morgan. Yeah, it is a wild week as usual. I am ready to cut through the hype, look at the actual data, and see what is really happening behind the headlines.
So true. We have got government AI agents taking over paperwork, a weirdly cheerful internet, and an AI from the 1930s today. Let's get right into our first story. Okay, first up, I saw on TechCrunch that Amazon just launched this crazy new AI-powered audio Q&A experience directly on their product pages. It is rolling out now.
Wait, audio? Like I am shopping for a blender on my phone and I have to talk to it? How does that even work in a practical setting?
Basically, yeah. It is called Join the Chat. You literally ask questions out loud about a product, and you get an AI-generated audio response back instantly. It is so cool and honestly pretty futuristic.
I guess it is cool tech, but do we really need our shopping apps talking back to us? It feels like tech companies are just forcing AI features into everything right now.
Oh, come on. It is like having a personal sales assistant in your pocket. Imagine you're cooking, your hands are super messy, and you just want to know if a specific pan is dishwasher safe.
Okay, fair point on the hands-free accessibility thing, but I always worry about the accuracy with these models. What if the AI confidently hallucinates and tells you a regular glass bowl is oven safe?
Yeah, that would be a literal disaster. But from what I read, I think Amazon is pulling directly from verified reviews and product specs to ground the answers, so it should be pretty safe.
Hopefully is the key word there. We will have to see how it actually performs in the wild before I start trusting a robot voice with my kitchen safety and buying decisions.
Totally valid. But you have to admit, voice commerce is getting a massive, massive upgrade here. I am definitely going to try it next time I buy something weird on Prime late at night. Moving on to something way bigger, ZDNet reported that over 80% of US government agencies are already using AI agents. Dude, 80%! That is a massive number for the public sector.
Wait, really? The government? They usually still run on like fax machines and ancient mainframe computers. That adoption rate seems incredibly high for such a slow-moving bureaucracy.
I know, right? It completely blew my mind. A new survey shows most government leaders actually believe that by 2030, the public sector will basically consist of humans and AI agents working together side by side.
Okay, but what does using AI agents actually mean in this specific context? Are we talking about basic chatbots for DMV websites or actual autonomous systems making real policy decisions?
It sounds like a mix, but they are definitely moving toward real autonomous agents. They're using them to process massive backlogs of paperwork, analyze data, and streamline citizen services. It is a huge efficiency boost.
I can definitely see the appeal for reducing paperwork, but government data is highly sensitive. If these agents are handling citizen tax records or health data, the security and privacy implications are just massive.
For sure, that is a huge concern that they have to get right. But imagine never waiting in line at a government office again because an AI agent just handled your permit request instantly.
That is the absolute dream, right? But I will remain highly skeptical until I see my tax returns processed by an AI without it hallucinating a random audit. It is a very big leap of faith.
Fair enough. Still, seeing the public sector potentially outpace the private sector in adopting AI agents was definitely not on my tech bingo card for this year. Okay, this next one from the Decoder is honestly my absolute favorite story of the week. Someone made an LLM that knows literally nothing after the year 1930. It is wild.
Oh, that is super interesting. So it is like a historical artifact AI. How many parameters are we talking about here? And what exactly did they feed it during training?
It is a 13 billion parameter language model called Talkie. They trained it purely on texts written before 1931, so it has zero concept of the internet, modern computers, or even World War II.
Wow, that is actually a fascinating experiment in training data isolation. So, what happens when you prompt it to describe the future? Like, what does it think our present day looks like?
That is the absolute best part. When asked about the year 2026, it pictures this wild steampunk reality. It predicts a world dominated by massive steamships, endless railroads, and cheap penny novels everywhere.
A modern world of penny novels and steamships? Honestly, that sounds kind of peaceful compared to our current doom-scrolling reality. Did it predict any major global conflicts or anything dark?
Nope, not at all. It actually heavily doubts a second world war will ever happen. It is just so wildly optimistic and completely wrong about how technology evolved. It is like talking to an alternate timeline.
It really highlights how much an AI's entire worldview is strictly constrained by its training data. It is a great reminder that these models don't actually know anything. They just reflect their historical inputs.
Exactly. It is like a digital time capsule that you can chat with. I kind of want to download it and talk to it just to escape from all the modern tech news for a bit. Speaking of our modern reality, our last story is also from the Decoder. Researchers did a massive scale analysis of websites, and AI-generated text is literally everywhere now.
I feel like we all intuitively knew that already. Everything online reads a bit like ChatGPT lately. But did the researchers find anything surprising about the actual cultural impact?
Yes, they did. They looked at the Internet Archive, and apparently, AI text is making the whole web way more uniform, but also weirdly cheerful and overly positive all the time.
Weirdly cheerful? That is actually hilarious. I guess because these models are heavily trained to be helpful and polite, they're accidentally sanitizing the entire internet's natural tone.
Exactly. The researchers said the actual effects are super different from what people assumed. We thought AI would just spam garbage, but instead it is creating this aggressively pleasant, corporate-sounding internet everywhere.
But that is actually a huge long-term problem. If everything becomes this homogenized, cheerful slop, we lose the nuance, the edge, and the actual human emotion that makes the web interesting to read.
Dude, I totally agree with you. It is like the whole internet is turning into one giant LinkedIn post. Everything is just delve into this and a testament to that over and over.
Right, and as future AI models train on this new cheerful synthetic data, that uniformity is only going to compound. It is basically a slow death of internet culture by extreme politeness.
That is such a dark way to look at a cheerful internet, Morgan. But you are probably totally right. We definitely need to keep some of that weird human messiness alive online.
I will absolutely do my part to stay weird and highly skeptical. Don't you worry about that. But I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the news for today.
For sure. Thanks for hanging out with us, everyone. We love breaking this stuff down. That is it for today. We will be back tomorrow with more AI news.